Toria Nuland kind of blithely announced during congressional testimony last year that, oh, by the way, we have these biolabs in Ukraine.
Yeah.
And that was like kind of ignored, and the people who covered it got attacked for covering it. But the fact remains there are U.S. biolabs in Ukraine. Why would we have biolabs in Ukraine?
We have biolabs in Ukraine because we're developing bioweapons. And those bioweapons are using all kinds of new synthetic biology, genetic engineering techniques that were not available to previous generation, and they can make frightening stuff. What happened was the Pentagon began putting a lot of money into bioweapons, but they were nervous because if you violate the Geneva Convention, it's a hanging offense. So they transferred the authority for biosecurity to one agency in the HHS called the National Institute for Infectious and Allergic Diseases, run by Anthony Fauci. So Anthony Fauci got all the responsibility for bioweapons development, and that's why he was the highest paid official in the American government. Now, when you do bioweapons development, every bioweapon needs a vaccine, so you develop them side by side. So those two things are developed through a field of science called gain of function science, where you take an infectious microbe and you amplify its infectivity, or you make it jump species, so it may kill monkeys, now you make it kill humans. In 2014, 3 of those microbes escaped. Fauci built labs all over the country, and in 2014, 3 bugs escaped from 3 different labs. The public learned about it, and there was a lot of publicity, and Congress held hearings. 300 scientists wrote President Obama and said, you've got to shut down Anthony Fauci because he's going to create a microbe that will cause a global pandemic. And so Obama signed a moratorium that shut down the 18 worst of Anthony Fauci's experiments. Instead of obeying that law, Anthony Fauci shifted a lot of his operations offshore. And those operations ended up, most of them in the Wuhan lab, which is a military lab. And then a lot of them went to the Ukraine. So